Hi there, and thank you for joining me for an informative or perhaps boring answer to the burning question, what in the world is business in a box? In all reality, I do go to conventions or other places where I am sitting next to somebody who looks at me and says, what is business in a box anyway? Or I'm on the phone. So let me explain to you what this edition 2 of Business in a Box is and how it differs from edition 1 of Business in a Box. 8 years of experience for one thing. So what is Business in a Box? It's really a combination of three things. Number one, it is like a franchise package. It provides a guide for every facet, and believe me, there are a lot of facets to running a residential cleaning service. It has all the forms to support each facet, as well as any videos, any training videos, any type of support material you might need to implement what you have learned in that particular module. The one unusual thing about Business in a Box that is not even available in every franchise is all materials that relate to employees, whether videos, seminars that have been taped, or forms or manuals, are all in both English and Spanish. The second combination that helps you unlock your key to your success is this is like a live seminar. I don't just send you materials and forms and a bunch of different unrelated videos and you don't know when to watch them. I actually walk you through every single facet of running the residential cleaning service. So as you watch my guides, my module guides, you will take out the forms that you will be using and implementing to complete that particular module. It's really videoed training. It's like you were at my Hill Country Harvest at my ranch, or you were at one of my seminars, or I was at your office. I'm going to walk you through the same things I walked all of those people through on Business in a Box, which is why I call it a virtual seminar. Because the third combination to your lock is you are plugged in with owners. I'm actually going to insert comments from owners regarding different facets as we go through them. You can contact these owners, you can talk to them, their phone numbers will be there, so it'll be like they're sitting right next to you at the seminar. But if you forgot what they said, you can play it back later. And the final combination that unlocks the key to your success is that the entire Business in a Box is facilitated by somebody with 30 plus years experience in this business. That would of course be me. Combine the 20 years experience I had dealing with 60 employees, cleaning 95 homes per day. However, 93, actually that's too high, probably 94 of the 95 were repeat clients. So tips were high. They are always higher with repeat clients, which to me is the key to success in lowering your attrition in today's economy. Tough to find employees, but you won't lose them if they're making money on top of your money. After 20 years of that, as many of you know, 10 years ago I opened up Rags to Riches, and I've been working with cleaning services ever since, which of course I would say is the frosting on the cake. I have worked with more than 1,200 owners. If you combine all the owners who have come to the ranch, who I went to their region and had a regional in an owner's office. I had seminars at one point in time in regions with as many as 80 people at them. I have touched bases with a lot of owners. But key was the 41 offices I visited between 2016 and 2018. I learned so much from the 387 cleaners I trained. I believe they learned so much from me. I hope they did. But the tricks I learned from them that I never would have thought of and probably never would you, are all shared on edition 2 of Business in a Box. Which is why I felt the need to create the second edition. The first edition of Business in a Box was created about 8 years ago. I created it because there truly was a need for it at that time. And there probably still is. It is pricey and time-consuming to put together everything that somebody needs and get those forms available to them, especially in both English and Spanish, and then put that edition out. It's called, in my opinion, one-stop shopping, but it takes a lot of time for the vendor to put that together for you all. And when I started looking at things as I was working with my clients who have recently bought Business in a Box because it has become popular again, I realized how many changes have happened in the last 8 years, and find myself constantly saying to the new clients, well, no, that's not true anymore, don't do that, do this. And I realized it needed a redoing. For example, scheduling software. 8 years ago, there were 2, at the most 3 choices. None of them offered automatic emailing to people to tell them when their scheduled date was or time was the next day. Now, of course, I will say this, back then people weren't quite as high maintenance as they are today, and people knew that they were being cleaned every other week on a Wednesday between 2 and 4, and they didn't need to be called. As a matter of fact, they didn't want to be bothered. Maybe 20% followed the rule of they were high maintenance, and we had to call about 20% of the 95 clients, which was indeed very time-consuming. But we know the rule, 20% of your people take 80% of your time, and we of course call them because that's a lot of clients. Today, I wouldn't use a software company that doesn't automatically email your clients their cleaning time the next day, or 48 hours before, or you ought to have the capabilities to be able to do it whenever you want to do it. Because that's a simple programming thing in today's software. For those of you who do not attend conventions or seminars or do a lot of networking, I believe you will find this extremely interesting as well and extremely informative. In addition to, I have included all the things that I have learned in the last 8 years, as I'm attending far more conventions than I ever did or were really available when I had my cleaning service. I'm speaking at them, I'm networking with other owners, I am learning so much in their offices, and I'm going to actually bring in software companies and interview them as part of Business in a Box, so you can hear what one software company offers versus another, and you can get some idea of what you should expect automatically in a software company. Filtrations are huge today, and we'll discuss the advantage of using filtrations and how you can get them going at your company. So how does Business in a Box work? Every 2 weeks for 10 weeks, you will receive a flash drive with the supporting materials. It will be priority mailed to your office, your home, wherever you want it. Each flash drive will take 8 to 10 to 12 hours, some of it 20 hours, some of it possibly 30, to implement depending upon how large your company is. What happens is when I give Business in a Box to somebody all at one time, maybe they open it up, maybe they watch the first one, maybe it actually goes on the shelf and the only thing they ever use in the whole thing is the core training DVDs and the apron. And that only lasts for a while because they did not watch the whole thing. If you really want to impact your business, you need to watch everything and implement everything, and that's impossible to do if you try and do it all in 1 week. So I send it to you at what I feel is workable time for a self-starter who's a workaholic like myself, because I don't want to slow those of you down who are workaholics. The rest of you, I encourage you to keep up, because the further behind you get, the more they start stacking up on your shelves, and you may never even make it through Module 1. which is ranking your company, setting goals for your company, tangible goals that you can define and put up on your wall and track, and employee engagement into your goals. Involves some leadership as well as involves some studying on how you can get that repeat client base large and become a $2 to $3 million business. Module 2 is pricing. How do you price your services and sell it without seeing the house? And how do you sell it? Do you sell it on the phone? Do you sell it online? Do you sell it in person? And then, of course, how do you onboard the client so they feel comfortable and they're definitely there when you get there the first time when you haven't met them? Module 3 is recruiting. We need somebody to clean these homes. We talk about how you recruit, how you never lose a name of a person who is interested in cleaning. We talk about hiring, how you can get them want to work for your company, and then, of course, onboarding each employee, which is such an important facet in the safety of your employee and getting them to always come back to the second day of work. Module 4 is training implementation. It's getting ready to actually start implementing core training. It's everything you need to get set up, everything you need to get organized, Module 1, Module 5, things that you need to go through with your employees before you actually start the core training process. And then Module 5 is, of course, the core training process. Depending upon how many employees you have, this could take anywhere, and how much time actually you have to give to this. If you have trainers and you have 10 employees, you should be able to get through this in a week. But if you have 30 employees and you have one trainer, it could take you 2 months, 3 months. Remembering that it'll take you a whole year before everybody's doing it perfectly, and you will need to stay on top of that. I go through that. I will teach you exactly how to do this and how to have your employees excited about learning this process. Module 6 is leadership. Once you've taught this process, they need to stay with you for a long time because you've invested a lot of time, money, and energy into these employees learning your cleaning process, onboarding them, taking the time to hire them, going backwards. It is leadership that will get them to stay. Management will not. Managers have employees working for them. Leaders have followers following them. They'll never leave their side. So Module 6 is all about leadership. It's the most important facet of your business after you bring them in the door. Even orientation has a lot to do with leadership. Module 7 is employee development and retention. Again, we'll talk some more about what can you do for these employees to retain them besides turning them into followers, which means they probably won't leave anyway. But what can you do to develop them so that when they are with you for 10 years and their salary is getting relatively high, they're doing something to earn that salary. So it's a win-win for everybody. Module 8 is scheduling and marketing software. This is huge. As I said, I will bring in several companies to tell us what they have to offer so that you can make wise decisions depending upon the size of your company. If you're doing $1 million a year, some of you might not be aware of the software available to you. Module 9 is marketing. I do not do a lot about social marketing. I don't do really anything about Google marketing. Those are things that your website, things that you need to go to an expert with. I am not a marketing expert. I will go through what I am an expert at that brings in repeat clients, and that's networking. And that is what I will basically cover in Module 9, which is a lot. There are so many free opportunities for you to go get repeat clients, and I still believe that Google mostly brings you a one-time client. If you want to stay at this for a long time, and I was thinking about this morning, I think in the first 7 years you do not make a lot of money in this business. You have to last at it. Then you start making a lot of money, but you need to make a lot of money for another 7 years so you got enough for retirement. If you do then, I would recommend that you do a repeat client base. You base your business on a model that is based on repeat clients, and there's a huge difference when you make that decision. From marketing to hiring to retaining employees, when you decide you want to have a repeat client base and you really don't track your one-time revenue at all. But that is what will keep you here for 15 years instead of saying, I can't stand this anymore. And Module 10 is organizing your time to keep this all going, to keep it all in place. Once you need to start networking, when do you bring people in to help you? How do you organize that office? And how do you organize your company? How do you build those tiers? So I hope this has given you some information on what Business in a Box is. If you're stuck in this economy, you really need to do something, because this economy is flamboyant with money and people wanting our service. It's not like it was 15 years ago, believe me. This is a window of opportunity that you absolutely have been given, and you need to take full advantage of it. If you are stuck, get unstuck. There's got to be something in that box. If it comes from calling one of the people you see on an interview, that will get you unstuck and move you into the next level. If you have any questions, please give me a call. My number is on the right-hand side of the screen. Again, I thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. And I truly hope I'll be mailing you a box soon. Have a great day.